So like I mentioned, if you haven't yet got a string, you're welcome to come by the studio at any point. I'll leave them up for about a week and I will replace them if they get all taken. That would be a lovely thing if that happened. And one of the reasons we do this is for the Indian holiday, Rakhi Bandhi. And it's one of the holidays that I completely adopted because it's traditionally idea of a sister tying a string around a brother in gratitude for the protection that he gives to her. And it occurred to me, as it always does occur to me, that we're all brothers and sisters. Of course, yogically, that is the way we believe that we are all from a cosmic family. And I did suggest on Tuesday that maybe for the day, and I could suggest it again for today, that you mentally tie a string around each and every person that you see today, so that we can reconnect with sometimes that idea that we've disconnected from this idea that we're brothers and sisters, and that, of course, brothers and sisters do fight, they do argue, but nonetheless, it doesn't shift the love that we have for each other and the idea of protecting, supporting each other, and holding each other very high. I don't know if this actually fits, but I always make everything fit into the Dharma talk. But I just really was taken by this. It came up on probably Instagram or Facebook, and maybe some of you have read it also. But I wanted to read it to you, and then I want to do a little chant, and then we'll move a lot. So there's a gentleman, and the beauty of this, I think it was Instagram, is the picture of the gentleman who's a very old man, and he's sitting there with quite a few eggs around him. And a lady said, "How much do you sell your eggs for?" Has anybody seen this one? Yeah. The old vendor replied, "For 50 cents an egg, madam." The lady says, "Well, I'll take 6 eggs for $2.50 or I'm leaving." And the old salesman replied, "But buy them at the price you want, madam. This is a good start for me because I haven't sold a single egg today and I need this to live." She bought her eggs at a bargain price and left with the feeling that she had won. She got into her fancy car and went to a fancy restaurant with her friend. She and her friend ordered what they wanted. They ate a little and left a lot. They paid the bill, which was $150. The ladies gave $200 and told the fancy restaurant owner to keep the change as a tip. This story might seem quite normal to the owner of a fancy restaurant, but very unfair to the egg seller. The questions raised is, why do we always need to show that we have power when we buy from somebody who is in need? And why are we generous to those that do not need our generosity? I once read this somewhere, that a father used to buy goods for poor people at high prices, even though he didn't need the things. Sometimes he would even pay more. And I was amazed, and I asked him, "Why are you doing this, Dad?" And he said that every single person in the world deserves the dignity that they are. So I don't know, that just really touched me, on the idea of wrapping cosmically a string around everybody, is just the idea that everyone matters, everything matters, everyone has dignity, everyone has the opportunity to feel the love that streams from you to them. So the chant that we're going to do today is one very beautiful. I didn't put it in the chat box because I'll just do it slowly with you, but it is one to bring on the Hrim, the heart energy that streams so deeply from the divine feminine, Chamundiye. And it is allowing us to activate that Shakti love inside of us. That's that love that sometimes gets stuck with demands, that sometimes gets stuck with ego, that sometimes gets stuck with whatever it is that doesn't allow love to flow generously to every single being, animals, nature. So go ahead and close your eyes if you haven't yet. And do this mantra, calling yourself. Om Aim. Try. Om Aim. Hrim Klim. Hrim Klim. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Om Aim. Om Aim. Hrim Klim. Hrim Klim. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Om Aim. Om Aim. Hrim Klim. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Om Aim. Om Aim. Hrim Klim. Hrim Klim. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Om Aim. Om Aim. Hrim Klim. Hrim Klim. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Om Aim. Om Aim. Hrim Klim. Hrim Klim. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Om Aim. Om Aim. Hrim Klim. Hrim Klim. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Om Aim. Om Aim. Hrim Klim. Hrim Klim. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Om Aim. Om Aim. Hrim Klim. Hrim Klim. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Om. I am as a seed sound for Saraswati, presides over that spiritual energy that connects us back to the flame, sound of love, seed sound, heart, clean, attraction, Chamundiye, the beautiful aspect of the feminine, just utterly, completely there to destroy any negative forces. Namaha. Chamundiye, the yay part of that is the part that activates. There's so many beautiful aspects of these mantras. We just did it for 9 times. Let your eyes float open, please, and bring the soles of your feet together. Maybe sit up on a blanket if that feels good to you. Root down through your baby toes, lengthen through your spine, and then walk yourself forward any amount. As you dissolve forward, relax through the mind, soften through the jaw. Lots of long, deep breathing. Feel your skin. And go deeper. Feel your breath, and then go deeper. Feel your blood, and then go deeper. Feel yourself keep dissolving into and into and into and into. The only thing that you can feel is that connection to all beings. Like I said, the idea of brothers and sisters, they will fight. The love runs so deep. Good, slowly rise back up. Come on up to your hands and knees, please. Slide your right knee in front of your left knee. Separate your feet as wide as you can. Maybe place a block between your heels and sit back on that block. Maybe not, maybe you don't need a block. It's a very early moment to do this pose, so be kind to yourself. And then walk that forward. If this doesn't work for you at all, right? Say your hips are so tight this morning, you're like, this is excruciating. Right shin in front of left shin, that'll work fine. So right knee in front of left knee, and then sit back between your heels, Patrice. Just walk yourself back. Yeah, there you go. And again, if that's too intense, just bring your right shin like you're doing a cross-legged position, but your right shin in front of your left shin. And then see if you can just walk yourself forward or stay upright, whatever feels the most opening for you. And then once again, dissolve, 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 going. The inner nadam, the inner sound. A place that doesn't hold judgment, doesn't hold right or wrong, good or bad, like or don't like. A place where we exist for each other. Beautiful, walking yourself back up and come back onto your hands and knees. Maybe a downward dog to stretch it out. That might be really nice here. Nice, Daniel. Yeah. Beautiful. Nice, Sarah. And because we have two sides, coming down to those knees and switch sides. We're going to take our left knee on top of our right knee. Sit back between your heels. And find how your seat connects both sit bones to the floor or to the block. Feel the creases of your hip creases, maybe even putting your thumbs there and trying to get them to release just a little bit more, lifting your low belly and then maybe coming forward from there or staying upright. And then checking in with your breath. Talking a little bit about Krishna the other day. Krishna's Jayanti, his birthday is coming up on the 30th. And one of our dear friends, Joshua Green, I was listening to him in a documentary, in an interview actually. And he was talking about when he first became a Hare Krishna. And when he first went to the streets to dance and sing the mantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. And how that even though his guru had sent them out there to spread love and devotion, that was the idea of them going to the streets and chanting to Krishna, they were actually yelled at, sometimes hit, thrown things at them. It's just interesting, right? That when you come in love and leave in love, there still is that part that someone might not receive it in the way that you meant it. That's okay. It's okay. That's why we have the string that we wrap around our wrist to remind us that love is the only thing that there is. Love is the only thing there is. Love is the only thing there is. But walk yourself back up and go ahead, downward facing dog. Thomas Ashley Flaren, he says that when you are healed in all ways, you will inevitably arrive at the state of love. So that's why we keep working on ourselves and healing ourselves, because that's the place I want to arrive. Beautiful. Come on down to your knees and press back into child's pose. And once again, dissolve. Keep dissolving inward. Maybe for today, there's a blessing, even though we're doing the asana, which is a physical practice, but a blessing to become just that place that dissolves back into the etheric. As you arrive back up onto your hands and knees, try a little cat and cow here. Maybe even close your eyes. Like we create this space. It's like when you're preparing for someone to come to the house, you prepare the space. The same thing we do with our bodies as we prepare the space for love to flow. Cosmically today, tie a string around everyone's wrist that you see, uniting us all as one. Downward facing dog. Feel yourself lift up through the armpits. Settle into the space of the heart. Lift your hips as high as they'll go and then center your heels toward the floor. And then slowly walk your feet up to your hands like you're taking the slowest, sweetest walk. And then arrive to hang forward, to relax the mind. Maybe again, open up your mouth, relax the jaw. And place your hands on your hips, press down through your legs, rise up to stand. Bend your knees deeply, reach your arms forward and up, chair. And then rise up, take a baby back bend. And bring your hands to your heart center. Close your eyes. Healing mantras. He says that love is based upon unity. Love involves understanding. Love is an expression of selflessness. In love, the means and the end are one and the same. Love means service. The search for love is the end of all meaning. Love is our birthplace, our final refuge, and our reason for being. Aham Brahma, I am divine love. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Exhale, bow forward. Send your left leg back behind you, lunge. Bring both hands inside your right foot. Dissolving down to your elbows or stay right where you are, maybe blocks. Make sure that knee does not pass that ankle here. You can always drop the back knee if you'd like to. You can always also do some hip circles here if you'd like. Nice. And remember, when you're circling the hips, be with that circling. Don't just distract yourself with it, right? Be with the circling of the hips if you choose to. Be with your breath. Be with the inhale and be with the exhale. Notice if you can lift your low belly a little bit further up and away from your right inner thigh. Maybe even letting your right knee drop out to the right. Beautiful. Eyes open or closed. And then if you've lowered your back knee, lift it up. Plant your right foot if you've leaned it to the side, and then walk yourself to the left side of your mat. Turn yourself to the left side of your mat. Parallel your feet. Lift your back knee up. Walk, walk, walk. And bow here. Prasadita Padottanasana. Feel those outer shins drawing in, supporting you. Those inner knees staying wide. Those inner thighs going wide. Your sit bones going wide. Once again, just feeling that inner throb. Good. Placing your hands on your hips, press down through your legs, rise up to stand. Turn your feet in just a little bit and then turn your feet wide, both feet wide, and bend your knees deeply. And interlace your palms and press them straight up to the sky, a little goddess pose. And just be very powerful here as you feel yourself not only squeeze and lift the energy from the earth coming up, but also letting go. Earth energy releasing back. Sweet. And then straighten those legs, release the arms. Turn your left foot parallel to the back of your mat. Turn your right foot to the front of your mat. Bend your right knee, Virabhadrasana 2. The power of the warrior. Chamundiye. Fierce love. I don't know why fierce love sounds so good to me. It's a place that it matters so much. As you slide your left arm down your left leg, you take your right arm up and back. Now take your gaze down to your left hand and see if it'll slide a little further, just with your awareness there. Good. Straighten your front leg and very slowly wander into triangle, very slowly. No rush. Nice job. Beautiful, Perry. Yep. Find your hand either on your ankle or a block. And just see how wide those eagle wings, right? I think myself in triangle always getting wider and wider and wider. Chest wide open, navel pulls in, throat draws back. Gorgeous, nice, Meredith. And as that left hand touches down to the floor and also does the right, step back, downward facing dog. Come forward to plank pose. See yourself coming all the way down to your belly. Watch it happen. Rise up into cobra, maybe the intoxicated cobra if you'd like. Moving your hips side to side, moving your shoulders side to side. Nice dancing. Nice. Beautiful, Rachel. Downward facing dog. Nice, Linda. And stepping that left foot forward. It's like a year ago that we did this on the right side, huh? Walk your hands inside. Don't turn yet, right? Walk your hands just inside. Maybe hip circles, maybe lower the back knee. Maybe just sit in those hips and ask them to release. What we call to us over and over again. It's what grows larger in our life, right? We know that. We call anger to us over and over, that grows bigger. We call love to us over and over, that grows bigger. Connect with people that we do not know. But we know them. They have a heart like we do. They have a soul like we do. They're just like me. Good, and then raising up the back knee if it's down and walking to the right to come to the middle of the mat, turning your feet parallel to each other. And a deep bow. And I always remind myself in this pose, am I hanging out too much on my heels? If I am, fall a little bit more onto your toes. Gentle and kind to yourself. Nice. Both here and on Camera, some of you are moving side to side. Make it your own. Maybe even little figure eights here. It feels really good to this body. Good, and as you feel ready, hands on your hips, press down through your legs, rise up to stand. Turn your feet in just a little bit, then turn your toes out, coming back into the goddess. Interlacing your hands and pressing your palms straight up to the sky. And just that feeling, this is very much a Kali-esque pose, right? It's that feeling of birthing the universe, being birthed through the universe, both happening simultaneously, birthing and being birthed. Sweet. As you rise up, take those arms out to letter T. Have your right foot come parallel to the back of your mat. Turn your left toes to the front of the mat. Virabhadrasana 2. And then sliding that right arm down your right leg, take your left arm up and back. And keeping that look, your gaze to your right hand, gazing down and maybe sliding your right hand a little further. Nice, Angela. A little further down. Nice, Sasha. And then super slow, straightening that left leg and beginning to work your way toward the slowest triangle you've ever come into. Nice, Kim. Yep. Sarah, beautiful. Nice, Linda. Great, Sasha. Yeah. Lisa. And again, what does it feel like between the fingertips? How much wider, more space, more openness, more freedom. And then glide that right hand down to the floor, left hand touches as well, stepping back downward facing up. Downward dog. And again, walking those feet up to those hands, standing forward bend. Opening and closing the mouth. Ah. Hands on blocks or hands on the floor, so make sure your hands can touch something here. Inhale your left leg to the sky, standing split. Our right foot tends to sometimes turn in or out to kind of accommodate the balance, so make sure your right foot is pointing straight ahead. And then see that your left foot, that's one that's in the air. The toes are pointing toward the floor. At least they have some sense of activation. So Allison, that's great. Some sense of activation. They're not just hanging there. Scoop the low belly, drawing the navel in, up toward the heart. Now push your sit bones back and wide. This is not easy. Pull your navel in, but then press your sit bones back and wide. And then just for fun, bring your hands to your heart center and rise up to Virasthri. Just for fun. Hands to your heart center, rise up, Virasthri. I'm going to have you come back down right away, but just try it. Let your hands float down to the floor and bring your left foot next to your right foot. Thank you. All right, let's try the second side. Raising your right leg up. Notice what you're doing with your hands, right? I find that it's very fun. Hands on the floor right now because you're just doing the split. I find it funny how that I white knuckle things in the practice, right? So let your hands be light, your mind be light. Pull that navel in, pull the navel all the way up toward the heart, and then press your sit bones wide. Relax your jaw. Hands on the floor, standing split. Slowly bringing those hands up to the heart center, rising up to Virasthri. Power those legs, squeeze those legs toward each other. And then lowering the hands back down, lower both feet to the floor, turn your feet wide, come into squat. Krishna is known as the attractive one, the one that calls you to be in that state of love 24/7. He does that by intoxicating you with the sound of his flute. You hear the sound, and you have to drop everything. You have to drop all the drama that you're in. Drop your drama. Definitely should go on a shirt. Standing forward bend. That's our mantra. Drop your drama. And that's the sound of getting intoxicated, and all we can think about is dancing with the beloved. It's all we can pick up. Hands on your hips, push down through your legs, rise up to stand. Relax your arms alongside the body and just feel. All right, here we go. Eyes open, hug your left knee into your chest. Sweep your left knee on top of your right knee, Garudasana. And right elbow on top of left. Sit deeply back into that chair, feeling so the groins get light. Nice, Carla. And then you unwrap that top leg and send it back behind you. Keep your arms wrapped though. You're in like a high lunge look. So you drop the toes to the floor and you raise the elbows up to the sky. You keep the arms wrapped. Get that nice shoulder stretch. And then you do the crazy thing. You bring the back leg forward again and re-wrap into eagle. Because you can. Because you're willing to take that risk. Good, and release. Isn't all love a risk? Okay, here we are. Raise your right knee up to your chest and wrap your right knee on top of your left. Sit back toward that chair so the groins get light. That is my whole job on this earth, is to help people have light groins. Good, left elbow on top of right. Beautiful. As you unwind, the right leg comes back behind you. The toes touch the floor behind you. The arms stay wrapped so you can lift them up as high as they'll go. But keeping that front knee moving forward. Gorgeous. And take the back leg, re-wrap it into Eagle Garudasana, right knee on top of left. Make sure you're breathing. And then unwrap everything and release the hands alongside the body, feet to the floor. Beautiful. Inhale those arms up to the sky. Take a hold of your left wrist and pull to the right. And come back up and change sides. And come back to center. And please come through squat if you can, and then lie on your back. Hug your knees into your chest once you arrive. I love the story that Joshua Green gave as he made his choice to go out into the streets for the first time and, you know, have on the robes and the malas and start chanting the name of God, the name of Krishna, right? The very first time he did it, go ahead and plant your feet on the floor. And an ex-girlfriend of his walked by You know, it's like the most awkward thing when you're feeling awkward to begin with, right? And that's what the universe is going to do for us. They're like, you really are you sure that you are going to connect with this in this way? Well, then let's see how really clear you are with yourself. Take a couple of deep breaths here. And breathe into your pelvis. My experience is that we definitely lovingly work on our heart center quite a bit, thank goodness. But our pelvis is one that really needs some attention, mine specifically, so maybe yours too. And maybe just do tiny little pelvic tilts, which means you don't lift your butt off the floor, but you just move your hip points toward the belly button and then toward your knees, and toward the belly button, towards you. So you're just rocking the pelvis, little rocks. And your mind stays with that. Your mind stays with this very, very gentle rock of your pelvis. And it's funny, if anybody walked into the room while you're doing this, they'd be like, boy, that's weird. Or they would be like, what are you doing? That's nothing. But it's so big to be able to free space and allow your mind to stay here as you're rocking the pelvis. Little tiny rocks. It's not crazy if you do this maybe for a couple of minutes, 3 minutes or so. It's not crazy to have memories come up. Good. Now take your bring your knees in towards your chest and take your right knee on top of your left knee. So like you're lying down, Garudasana. Drop your arms to the floor so your hands are not helping you here. And maybe they are. When they're dropped on the ground, they're kind of rooting you and supporting you. So they are helping you. But start to draw your knees. Well, first of all, squeeze your shins in toward each other. And then draw your knees in towards your belly button. And then away from your belly button toward the front of your mat. And then in towards your belly button, nice and slow. Toward the front of your mat with breath. Feel your back as it connects to the floor. Good. And then once again, plant your feet down onto the floor and do those little pelvic tilts. Now, if you are bored of doing the pelvic tilts and you want to lift and lower your hips, you can do that. I think my theme a little bit today is go into the places that are very subtle. As I spoke of earlier, go from your skin to your breath, to your blood. Keep going in. And then go ahead and hug your knees into your chest and take your left knee on top of your right knee. Left knee on top of right knee. Squeeze your shins toward each other. And then again, move your knees away from you and then toward you, away from you and then toward you. Super beautiful. As you release your feet back down to the floor, come into robot arms, take your shoulders closer to your ears and then down to the floor. And then lift your hips up. Lift your chin up. Maybe clasp your hands underneath you if that feels good. And then go ahead and lower it down and bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees drop open. Stay with your breath here. Stay with the long inhales and long exhales. It's interesting what triggers fear and uncertainty when something else that's been triggered when they would see, or anyone would see the Hare Krishnas. What was that triggering inside that created that hostility when that wasn't the meaning, the offering at all? So it's very interesting to even note how our love flows and how we hold our love back. Holiday like Rakhi Bandhi is just such a sweet remembrance to tie a thread of love around everyone's wrist to see today. Good. Slide those knees back toward each other. Hug your knees into your chest. And then wrap your right ankle on top of your left knee. Right ankle, left knee. Lying down pigeon, left knee in towards your chest. We'll bring that left shin up so it parallels the floor and flex both feet. And I know Sarah is doing, which is awesome. Imagine you have a wall that you're pressing your left foot into. And you're still working to take your sit bones wide and scoop in that low belly and lift that chest. And take your arms out to letter T. Lower that left foot down to the floor and let both knees drop to the right as long as your knee's like this. You can keep your right ankle on top of that left knee or take it off, whichever one feels better for you. Yeah, you can go either way, actually. It's interesting because you can go to the right, which is the typical way of dropping it, or you can fall to the other side, which is also quite interesting to see which one is giving you more of a hip opener. Or try both sides. If you want to lift the knees and let now your right foot come down to the left, yeah, and keep pushing that inner thigh away from you, yeah. Yeah, so give it a switch up. Good, and then raise back up. And if you're just trying the other side, go ahead and stay there as long as you'd like. And you can just meet us when you are ready with changing ankle to knee, second side. Remind yourself not to grip here, to actively participate without gripping. And then take that side to side, whichever side you want to begin with. Either, traditionally you take your right foot down, move it slightly more to the right, and let both knees drop to the left. But I've had also a lot of deep work done doing it the other way. So you choose one way, both ways. And when you rise back up, come into full happy baby. Reach for your instep. Beautiful. Then hug your knees into your chest, roll up on your spine, maybe roll about 3 times up and down on your spine. The third time you come up, bring the soles of your feet together again, maybe sit up on a blanket, go back to where we began, and come forward any amount. Soles of your feet together. Harry, you look like a new woman. I know. You're glowing, my friend. You all are glowing. I know Perry's doing some big stuff in her life. It's kind of what I'm commenting on, but I know many of you are doing big stuff in your life. Something so powerful, you all remember being in the studio with me and playing music, and it's very sweet to have absolutely no music. I mean, that's what we're doing over here too. I'm not playing anything because my stereo exploded and I haven't replaced it. Good. Slowly come on up. Bring the soles of your feet down to the floor and bring your hands behind you. So just bring your knees in, plant your feet, bring your hands behind you. I would turn your fingertips in towards your butt and then bend your elbows. Yep. And sink back, drop your chin into your chest. So chin into chest, and then pull your navel in. Now from here, start to lift your chest up and press your arms to straight. Yeah. Yes. Do that again. Bend your elbows, sink back, keep your navel in. Your butt stays on the floor. Good. As you lift your chest, straighten those arms, push the floor down. Good. One more time like that. Bend your elbows, sink back, drop into the back of your heart, and then lift up through your chest. Now press your seat off the floor, that reverse table. Good. As you lower your seat back down, take your feet off the floor into boat pose. You can keep your knees bent. Sweep your arms out in front of you if you'd like. Good. Now reach for your big toes and take your legs nice and wide. Now lift your chest like crazy. Push it completely forward. Great. And then lower your legs down, wide-legged forward bend. Maybe scoot your butt back just a little bit. Encourage your exhale to get a little bit longer. And taking your right arm inside your right leg, sweep your left arm over your ear, side stretch. Maybe use the leg and the arm to press against and just open up those eagle arms again. Sweep that arm over your ear. And then deeply bow over that right leg. Swish yourself. Really feel that left thigh stay anchored, left seat stay anchored. Krishna is to remind us that we have the capability and the birthright to live in our highest bliss. Coming to the second side, you can take the side stretch first, reaching the left arm inside the left leg, right arm over your ear. Pull that throat back. And then allow that side body, from it being long now, pull over that left leg. Stay as long as you can. Keep breathing as you walk yourself back to center. Come into a cross-legged position and then bring your hands forward, step back, downward dog. Don't cry. Downward dog. Lisa, we've been together a long time. I know. This is a place I'd be like, what the fuck? We're Shavasana. All right, so I want to do full frog here. Some of you, if that does not work for you, you can do pigeon instead. You can come back to supine baddha konasana. But if you're going to follow with me, you're going to want to take your right foot forward. Well, right foot steps forward. And then walk to your left until you come to the center of your mat. Nobody did it here on my end when I said to put their foot forward. They're like, what? Good. Now you just fall down to your knees here. So this is your full frog. You fall down to your knees. You might want to have some kind of a blanket underneath your knees. And as you fall down to your knees and your ankles are in the same line. Your feet turn outward. Your knees and your ankles in the same line, your feet turn outward. And then you have to find that sweet spot here. The sweet spot meaning some of you moving more forward is going to give you the stretch. Some of you pushing your hips more back is going to give you the stretch. The other trick here is not to let your rib cage fall down. Keep your navel drawn in, your rib cage lifted, because that'll give you too much of an overarch. And again, if this does not work for you, pigeon pose. If you're in pigeon pose, maybe take it to the other side. If you're doing the full frog, stay there. So the full frog is where, yeah, you got that, Sasha. Just turn your feet out. Your feet turn out. Yep, both of them. And then you sit your hips back. Good. And my favorite way to come out of this, if you're in pigeon, you come back down dog. If you're doing the frog, you just walk yourself back, lift your knees off the mat, and then go straight with your legs. It'll be a really great stretch. Prasarita Padottanasana. Yeah. Beautiful. And wherever you are, find yourself walking to the front of your mat. Standing forward bend. Good. I'm going to give you an opportunity to go upside down. So if you're handstanding, you can just move into handstand. If you're headstanding, you can move into that. If you want to come down onto your back, come into shoulder stand, you'd move into that. And if you feel cooked, you can lie on your back, bring the soles of your feet back together, supine Baddha Konasana. Keep breathing wherever you are. Just one more minute here, wherever that here is for you. And slowly begin to bring yourself back, either down from headstand or shoulder stand. And then we'll find ourselves going to sit together in a comfortable cross-legged position. We'll do 9 more rounds of the mantra before we take Shavasana. We'll do call and response just because I think it's easier. Good. You can bring your thumb and first finger to touch if you'd like. Om Aim. Om I. Hrim Klim. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Om Aim. Hrim Klim. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Om Aim. Hrim Klim. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Om Aim. Hrim Klim. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Chamundiye Viche Namaha. Om Aim. Hrim Klim. Chamundye Viche Namaha. Chamundye Viche Namaha. Om Aim. Harim Klim. Chamundye Viche Namaha. Chamundye Viche Namaha. Om Aim. Harim Klim. Chamundye Viche Namaha. Chamundye Viche Namaha. Om Aim. Harim Klim. Chamundye Viche Namaha. Om Aim. Harim Klim. Chamundye Viche Namaha. 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 You can stay here or come down to lie on your back for Shavasana. Ever so gently begin to deepen your breath. Let your body stretching you on in any way that serves you well. If you're lying down, hug your knees into your chest, roll to the right side, come on up to sit. Welcome back. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Begin in love and we end in love, and everything in between is love. Inhale for the sound of Om, deep breath in. Down, open your eyes. Have a beautiful day, everybody. I love you all so much. Enjoy, make it great, go play.
Thank you so much, Sheryl.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sheryl.
You're welcome.
Beautiful.
You're welcome.
Love you.
Welcome. Love you too. Goodbye. Oh, good. Angela, you stopped over? Yay. Thanks, honey. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye, Andra.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Goodbye, Lisa.